And so let's just get going, I guess, guys. Okay. I think it's going. Yeah. It is 9 a.m. here in Los Angeles. And it is Friday, the 24th of January, AD 2025. And we're going to have a fun, hopefully, loosey-goosey Friday show right here on the Hake Report. And so, get excited because it's going down. Meet me at the trail. It's going down. Meet me at the Fallen State. It's going down. Meet me on Punchy TV on Monday, 2 p.m. Pacific time. It's going down. I will get to your calls. I promised to, I don't know if I promised this, but I'll promise to look up the difference between the octopuses. It's not octopi. I heard, per Reddit, and Reddit is never wrong, except the fact that they're liberals, commies. And Squid. So maybe we'll get to that. But I do have calls to get to. I do have a bunch of super chats to get to. I have to unmute this thing so that you guys can hear the wonderful sounds. Nope. Nice. The wonderful sounds of the trails that are burning. I don't know if this place is burning. They just probably cordoned it off so that we can't get in. Hopefully the suburban firemen are more competent than the city firemen, or run by more headed up by slightly less incompetent people. Hopefully. But I don't know. I don't know. Look at the beautiful sky. We're going to be looking down one day on Anchor Baby Airlines, I hope and pray. But for now, you have to put up with him in the studio. But he'll be live right after the Fallen State happening today. No Joel Friday on Fridays. You do the math, but the mama in Terry wants to send him home because he's sick. All right, so let's just get right on. Anyway, guys, with the show.
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying the beautiful AJ Gallardo original theme song of the Hake Report acoustic. I played the keys, the organ. Can you hear it?
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
So, how you guys doing? I'm fine. I'm doing just fine. In the name of Jesus. I have a nice all thought, in my opinion, it's nice. All thoughts are all lies all the time about everything. T-shirt on. This is it's like a blue T-shirt. I got it from one of Jesse Lee Peterson's stores from back in the day. Now we've kind of consolidating it. We're kind of consolidating it. And so I'll have to see whether you can get this specific color on there. Because, there's the tri-blend version, which is JLP preferred, but that has some polyester in it, and so I prefer to have 100% cotton. And this is size large. It doesn't look too bad. I mean, it looks maybe a little slightly like wrinkled, but we're not going to get into that. But anyway, Anchor Baby design is cool. All the time, all thoughts are lies. And I got some feedback from some of you guys on design ideas. And maybe I'll pass those along, too, to some of the designers here, because there's some other designers here. Nice. Lincoln Lewis, Lady Lewis, says, just kidding, it's not a lady. I'm wearing a JLP shirt today, too, Hake. Not that one, though. LOL, lots of laughs. Cool. Sweet. So rebuildingtheman.com/stores or jesseleepeterson.shop. And you can poke around and see if there's a color that you like. If you like this shirt or whatever you want, you can get the Punchies coffee. I drink it every Sunday at church with JLP. If you come to church, maybe you too can have a free sample of Punchies coffee, brewed just for you by us, by somebody here. Nice. Yeah, this is large. It's not a medium. But I still think it looks okay, actually. Maybe preferable, honestly. They want me to grow into it. Gregatron wants me to start lifting weights so I get bigger, so I fill out a large better. Anyway, let me get to some calls here. David in Ocala, Florida, is actually on the line. And David, it's good to hear from you, man. Happy New Year. I don't know if I've heard from you since the New Year.
No, I have. Yeah, I haven't heard from you since then, man. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, good to hear from you.
Yeah, did you have a good holidays?
I did, I think.
Good.
Yeah, I
did.
did.
Go visit your family?
I did, actually, because they're not all that far away, actually.
Cool. Did the fires, because my internet's been messed up for a while. Did the fires affect your house or anything like that?
No, just we got smoke. We got bad air. But other than that, we've been okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've been fine.
Well, let me shout out to somebody real quick. I just want to say a little William, Chris, and Seaside.
Nice.
Okay, just hello. Yeah. Man, you got to be crazy to live in California, dude. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
That place is, it's unbelievable. I mean, how did they let something like that happen? So I haven't really heard any of your show. How in the world did they let that, you understand that how critical it is to take care of all that stuff out there to make sure that doesn't happen, right?
Yeah, I'm starting to learn that. Finland, I've heard, does a better job than California. Yeah. And they're like a forest. They're a forest country, I heard. And they never have this. Well, they're not a dry desert climate, so they'd probably have slightly different issues from us, but still, they're competent. They're competent and disciplined.
Now we definitely don't have to worry about Newsom running for president, dude. He's finished, okay? He's torched. Did you see that video where he was talking about rebuilding the deal and how he's already talking to so-and-so and he's shaking his shoulders and he's acting like a giddy schoolgirl?
Yeah, he's doing this.
He's got to be on drugs.
Did I see that on Anchorman? Where did I see that? Where Newsom is doing this?
Yeah, shaking his shoulders, and he's acting like a freaking schoolgirl, and he's either a total psycho sociopath or he was on drugs, because people that do drugs, they act like that. Like he was on some kind of speed or something. You just don't, normal people don't act like that after a tragedy.
Well, you could call him one thing's for sure. I don't know about the drugs thing, but one thing is for sure. You can call him a phony politician.
Yeah.
That's what you can call him.
Right, yep. Right. Yeah, and he's definitely not an alpha male. When he brought his little boy up on stage with his boy's like 4 years old with a pacifier still in his mouth. I mean, he just
That's funny, man.
that thing. My freaking, when I grew up, if somebody brought a kid over to somebody's house like that with a pacifier in their mouth, they'd just go over there and take it away from them and throw it away. Throw it right in the trash can right in front of the kid. You know? But how do you like how Trump, man, is just total savage, dude? He's a savage, man.
That's
don't get any better.
That is the sense that I'm getting. I was commenting yesterday about, they. If you'll indulge me in using the word they, people tried to kill him. And there were also people who celebrated the fact that people tried to kill him and wished that they hadn't missed or had gotten a clear shot or whatever.
Right. I know.
The way that the government persecuted him unjustly, they gave no pretense to actually respecting rule of law and not looking political. So he's doing what's right, and he doesn't care that it looks political. And
like pardoning the January 6th.
Yeah, exactly.
Biden pardons all those criminals ahead of time.
Yeah, he's like, forget you guys.
Well, what I liked is he's sitting there, he's signing them executive orders, and I'm sitting there watching that, and I'm thinking, man, I am watching history. Right on my television set. You got what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, dude, he breaks out on Liz Cheney and Adam Schiff, and he just stops.
That's what somebody called into the office to give me a brief tip that, it's so good seeing Trump just being real. He's signing these executive orders and then taking these live questions and just giving it to them. Giving them the truth.
Well, he's done more in 3 days than they did in 3 years.
Yeah, true. Especially more good.
Right. And here's the thing, man. Legacy media is over, bro. It's over.
I hope you're right, man.
No, I know it is, okay, because nobody believes a word they say unless you're an idiot. I mean, you got to be a full-blown idiot. I told you I was in the car business, and I closed thousands of customers on cars, or let's just say at least 1,000. Okay, all right. I'm not going to say thousands. And so I got an idea. Now I'm not saying I'm as sharp as Trump, but when you close as many transactions as that, okay, like he has, that's what makes you sharp. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of the reasons, that's one of the reasons why he's got such a quick comeback, on people.
Yeah, because he's lived it. He's dealt with all kinds of different people all his life,
right?
And never shrank from what he needed to do. He's not a man of fear.
They call it mirroring the customer. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So, like, in other words, when you come up to somebody that's from the country, you don't act like you're dealing with a professor from a university. You got what I'm saying?
Yes.
So he's, and what I love is when the news guy said, you call it fake news. And he comes back, no, I don't call it fake news anymore. I call it very fake news.
That's right.
I mean, so the guy is just awesome, man. He's just awesome.
I'm very pleased. He's setting a good example. He is a light like Jesus called us. Jesus said, "You are the light of the world," and that's what he's being an example of that, in my opinion. Just being real.
He's trying to shine the light. He's definitely shined the light into the darkness because those people are so dark.
Yeah.
I mean, don't you have enough discernment when you look at them? You can see that they're evil, like Adam Schiff and Liz Cheney.
Yeah.
In the continent.
Right.
See what I'm talking about?
Totally.
Pelosi, Schumer, Raskin, they're all and I've talked to you about this before, they are the children of the devil, dude. They are the tares that Jesus spoke about in Matthew 13.
Wow.
They're reprobates, and they're basically they're unredeemable. The only way that those people are going to inherit eternal life is if the Lord Almighty moves on them.
That's right.
That's it. That's it, dude. They're finished. Because what they've done, dude, is they worship themselves, basically.
Yep.
You know, they don't worship God, and they believe in all this sinful stuff like LGBTQ, abortion. So what God does after a while, it says in the Bible that if you keep liking that stuff, he just turns you over to a reprobate mind. He just lets you do what you want to do, and then you're finished.
Wow.
Yeah. Sears your conscience, it says. You know. Now, do you understand that? Do those people seem like they got a conscience at all?
No, they don't.
Not much of one. Yeah, not much of one, do they?
Yeah.
I mean, when they're looking at you, telling you it's okay for you to kill a 4-month-old baby in a womb, the woman's right to do that.
That's craziness. It's crazy talk.
Yeah. Sure. And then before I go, I mean, what do you think? Don't you think it's such a wonderful thing that he pardoned all those January 6th people?
I do. I love that, and I liked that he pardoned Ross Ulbricht of Silk Road, because I think that was probably a ridiculous
Who was that?
overstep.
Who was that?
He's a guy he is a crypto early Bitcoin friendly black market internet dark web creator.
Is that the guy that gave life and then in 20 years or so, or double, like the guy that got pardoned after 11 years? He was in jail for 11 years?
Maybe so. Probably so, because it was under the Obama administration.
Okay.
And
I saw that the other night.
Just because this guy made something that the government couldn't control, and it was hard for law enforcement to track, and illegal things, like drugs, were being done. And Anchor Baby told me that there were fake hitmen, honeypot fed things happening. Like none of the hitmen stuff was actually real, maybe, but or at least by and large. So he did something and then other people did bad things on his platform, right? And so he's responsible because such and such few dozen maybe people overdosed on drugs that were sold on his website. That's their fault. It's not his fault.
Sure, that'd be like like me going and ODing on fentanyl and them trying to blame it on you because I called your show.
Right.
Let me ask you something. Dang it, I forgot what I was going to say about that guy. Oh well. Here, I'm gonna lay something out here for you, man.
Okay, real quick, because I gotta get through.
I'm gonna go. I just want you to think about this. One of the last things God showed me, okay, is people, say God. I just heard this from the Spirit of God, and this is the last thing He told me. He said, just because they got smiles on their faces and they act happy and it went just like this, don't mean jack. And I want you to think about that when you look at Oprah Winfrey and you look at these people that seem so happy, Michelle Obama and all that, and even Obama, because the reason why I'm bringing this up to you was that when Trump and Obama was at Carter's funeral, and they were having their little smiley deal back there, and Kamala got all upset looking back there. You could see the look on her face, man. She was just boiling inside over that deal.
True. Interesting.
So, they just,
and maybe it wasn't over that. She's just boiling inside, period.
Oh, well, yeah, I know.
She has a resting boiling face. Boiling inside face.
You got all these rumors that her and her husband are getting divorced and all that.
No, I wouldn't.
Obama and that actress girl, and it's just the train is run off the track. You got what I'm saying? It's
interesting, man. Great call. Right, good to hear from you.
Hey, thanks for letting me talk. You have a great day.
You as well.
Keep on pushing on. All right, later on, buddy. Bye.
Bye. Alan in Michigan on the line over here, first-time caller. What's up, Alan? Are you there?
Wow, you took me right away.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Of course, I've heard a lot of stuff. I'm 79 years old. I've seen it all. The nonsense and stuff. I've been cheated, lied all my life, and it's my turn to go out and turn on the world and say, you're going down. Well, in any case, before I go on to that, I want to tell you right away. I appreciate you've got some black callers that call in. I might not agree with them, but you let them talk and you let them have the floor, and I think that's a good thing.
Right on, man. Thank you.
Right. Now, the fires and all, I've heard, and I see, there's a thing called pattern recognition.
Yes.
I saw Lahaina go up in flames. They've got a big fence around, won't let people back in. I've seen the hurricane that went up into the Carolinas, Western Carolina, and the governor's saying, "Oh no rebuilding. We're going to buy out." And I'm thinking, yeah. And then we've got this Paradise Fire, and I've been out to California several times. It was a beautiful area. I've been down Sunset, gorgeous, lovely area. Gone now. And I'm thinking, you know what this all tells me? Land grab.
It's a great opportunity, isn't it, for them, those evil people?
Oh, of course, it's just a coincidence, isn't
it? Never let a crisis go to waste, as many
it was
evil
Winston
men
Churchill
have said.
who said that.
Winston Churchill said that. And that's funny because, you know who else said it? I heard Eric Holder or somebody like that.
And the guy,
Chicago mayor?
the guy in Chicago.
That's right.
I can't remember.
Yeah, it was probably it was probably Obama's. Rahm Emanuel is the one who probably said that.
You got yes. Thank you. My memory is failing me. What the hell? I'm old. But I have a friend in San Diego, and I was first there in 1967 or whatever. Hello.
Yes. You were in California, SoCal?
Yeah. And the first time I was up there, it was a quiet little town, military and all that. And, of course, I've seen all these high towers go up, and my friend lives there. They got the same problem. They're getting the town council and all that. They're getting sodomites and lesbians. And what they're doing? They're a big project. We got to paint the pedestrian crossings in multicolors now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meaning the LGBTQ radical symbol.
Exactly. There's I think a term that the blacks use called bling, and I said this is nothing but bling.
I know.
Just a show, nothing to do with real problems in the city. It doesn't matter if the city's falling apart as long as it looks fabulous.
Right.
Fabulous.
That's so true, man. It's not even good for the so-called gays, except for their ego, and it's not even good for that. Honestly, it's just it's only good to deceive and feel good about being wrong. So sick. Meanwhile, we're burning.
Because you got other people you got to listen to, and it's only right. But because I've been to some my friend's sister was a lesbian and palled around with a lot of sodomites. So I got a really close look at how these people are really they're based very unhappy people.
Yeah, on drugs.
It's a shame.
Unfaithful, angry, violent, catching diseases, and out of control in their vices and passions. It's true, man. It's not good for them to. It's not good for anybody to revel in temptation.
Yeah. I a very brief thing. I went to a party one time that his sister invited him to, and my friend invited me to it. It was a cookout and everything in Chicago, and the guy who owned the building was a big political thing with a bunch of wild daughters. Well, her friend was actually a dancer with the Joffrey Ballet. He was a sodomite. He had a boyfriend, and I saw pictures of him. And this actually sickened me when he told me this. This is just recently, too, about a year ago. He told me, he says, "Oh yeah," he says, Kenny dropped dead at the airport of AIDS, And then he said, "Oh yeah, Kenny had told me his father had molested him." I just couldn't get my arms around that. I just could not. But there are people who would do it. You want the casting couch of Hollywood?
It's
parents will bring their children in, and okay, I know you got to get on to other people, and I don't want to monopolize your time. But when I saw that video of P. Diddy with Justin Bieber and him saying to him, hey, Just, you haven't been around too much. He says, well, I've been busy and everything. This is like a 13, 14-year-old kid.
Yeah.
And I thought, I've actually seen this. I saw this one time personally. I didn't know what it was at the time, but the body language said, there's something wrong here. I'm sure you've had that experience yourself. This kid has been molested and used, and it's coming out now. And
I don't know I don't know for sure at all what exactly happened to Justin Bieber between him and Diddy, but that is a poisonous, evil, mama, perverted relationship, whether it went sexual or not, to put that false friendly guilt on somebody, especially a child. That boy was a mess and was set up for misery, being put in that world like that. It's sick.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I didn't want to. I don't really have much to add, except I knew about this for 40 years. Not these particular things.
Right, but that type of thing going on in that world, in their LGBT world, and sexual world, not just LGBT. Is that what you're talking about?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
I had started. I heard about it many years ago, and by the kid. A kid had been kidnapped in Omaha, Johnny Ghosh. And I got a book. I'm going to make a long story short, and it was about a lawyer who wrote a book about what was going on with the Franklin scandal and all that, and Boys Town and all that. I got halfway through the book, and there was a description of what had happened, a particular sexual act. And it was so disgusting, I stopped reading the book. It's still on my shelf, half read. I will not read it anymore. It was so bad.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody can understand how bad these people are. And it's all over the world. All over. Guess what? God is in charge, and it's being exposed. And people who are into it, okay, fine, repent. That's the big thing. But us regular folk, we're being informed.
JLP's has counseled with a lot of people who've been through all kinds of different things, with their parents, pushed by their mothers, into these degenerate identities, transgender and sexual mess, and you can really get past all of this stuff. There's been people who've called in who thought they were or pushed to be transgender and stuff like that, and they've transitioned. But you can get past that. You can the hope that Christianity offers is real. It's all this physical trauma. You can get past it spiritually.
There's a passage in one of the prophets that talks about that even the eunuchs will have a chance to be in the kingdom of God. And, of course, in those days, you didn't become a eunuch by self-mutilation unless you were one of the Baal and Ashtoreth cults. You were made a eunuch unwillingly. Let's just put it that way.
Right.
So either way, they do have a way of coming back. There's repentance.
Yep.
It's always offered out there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, interesting call. Appreciate hearing from you.
And I will be watching you as much as I can. I'm retired, so
cool.
Don't mean to rub it in, but
no worries, man. I actually enjoy my work, which is pretty cool.
And you do good. You do good work, and I like the casual way. When people bring up scripture, they're not thumping on the Bible and pointing an accusing finger, and their eyes drawn up in their head and talking about Jesus. It's very practical. So I appreciate your approach.
Right on, man. Well, thanks again, Alan. Appreciate hearing from you in Michigan.
All right. And we'll call again when appropriate.
Sounds good. Take care.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Alan in Michigan. That was cool. A few quick super chats, if you don't mind, before I get back to the calls. Over on buymeacoffee.com/ oh, you know what? Before I get to the Buy Me a Coffees, there's a whole bunch of these to get to. But let me read some of the super chats from yesterday because Mo Betta gave some. Okay, so there was a missed one from Popcorn, and I'll get to that. But let's see how far I can go. I need to go. Sion, I read that. 12 ounces of Fine in the Way. I think, oh yeah, that's the coffee plug. Thank you, Mo Betta. I have to screenshot these ones on DLive. Oh, it's not all just Mo Betta. Nazulium. Am I saying your name correctly? Nazulium. Hey, that's my friend. I like that guy. Jack Nicholson? Is that him in The Shining? Maybe not even be him. But anyway, it says MLK Day, more like Martin Luther King Day. I know. What a disgrace. And I was thinking about the LGBT stuff that I was talking about with Alan just now in Michigan, the caller. 79-year-old man, talking about the results of free love. So much for free love, not so free after all. These kids are getting molested, May. More frequently per capita, I dare say. And then these priests are turning gay. And then, or they feel like they're that, and then so they don't want to get married, so they go on to become a priest, and then they can't control themselves. I don't know. Elon Musk, unlike the caller, is an actual African, says Mo Betta stand-up, referring to, I think, John in Kentucky. But John in Kentucky, he's my black Hebrew Israelite brother, and he doesn't think he's African. He thinks he's an Israelite, and the Israelites think they're distinct from the Africans. If you're talking about him. Mo Betta gave an Ninjagini yesterday. Another spacecraft fail, and all of a sudden Elon gets Trump to cancel DEI around the nation. LOL. Funny. Mo Betta gave and we'll talk about DEI and preferential treatment by the rich kids. For the rich kids. We need Scotty on the call with JLP and the Judaist Pied Piper earlier. Yesterday's guest, leading a Judeo-Christ church. Nice. Getting in front and leading them all to a cliff, he says. He's all critical of our friends, the Judies. Rick in Hampton, VA, always good to hear you, he says. Nice. Okay, Popcorn's Thump Keg says, stated yesterday, you just admitted that you wouldn't take issue with Barron Trump being given, let's say Barron Trump were unqualified for SpaceX, but he still was given a job at SpaceX. But then you grumbled about black people getting a hookup. Because, you know, SpaceX, Elon Musk, and Donald Trump are friends now, I guess. And so let's say Barron were interested in working for SpaceX, but he wasn't qualified, but because of Elon and Trump's relationship, he gets the job at SpaceX. And I don't care about that. I'm like, fine with that. Cool. Right on. I can't imagine Barron not being qualified. I mean, maybe he's not a rocket scientist. Maybe he is. But he's qualified for something in there. Let him wash the dishes. Let him mop the floors and build up. No, but give him a high position, a high-paid position. Anyway, I grumbled about black people getting a hookup. No, giving a hookup. Giving one another a hookup. That's what I grumbled about. Not getting a hookup. Double standard much? Asks Popcorn's Thump Keg. It's not a double standard because it's two different things, honestly. If you're against you being Hake and the collective who agree, hey, no collectives here. I'm not that much of a commie, am I? Or am I? Black people being in high-profile jobs, just say that. If you're against black people being in high-profile jobs, just say that. No, I'm not against that. Say, like Clarence Thomas, I'm for him. Or he's like the one true justice. That's a high-profile job. Or, I liked Herman Cain. I think he would have been a better president than most of those guys, I think, although he didn't hack it when they went after him with the woman stuff. He didn't hang in there. And I don't know. I don't know how I would respond. Whatever. He wasn't ready at that point. But I appreciate him. So it doesn't have to do with black people specifically. If they're into the black thing, then, I have an issue with that. Definitely. Don't hide behind the meritocracy argument. I never say meritocracy. You'll hear JLPs talking about they're not qualified for the job, and that's true. Whether they have the quote-unquote merits, which is just grades or whatever, or experience or something. But as we all know, they get grade inflation. Everybody gets grade inflation now. And they get preferential treatment. People kiss up to them, and so we have de facto affirmative action. The goalposts get moved because when a black person has the merit, the goalposts get moved. No, but they don't because the goalposts, you don't know what my goalposts are. My goalposts include have a good attitude on the job. Don't be crying racism at the drop of a hat like you people do. Or try to accuse me of just not wanting black people in a high position. On some level, you're right. I don't want them in a high position. But on another level, I'm okay with it if they naturally earn it. Or if they prove themselves, like Justice Clarence Thomas kind of has, in my opinion. But it will be very rare. It won't be a artificial, let's kiss up to them. Why? What's the good about that? What's the good about diversity, about this forced, artificial, shallow, fake, mama spirit diversity stuff? And then he says, ever heard of legacy college admissions? Yes, I have. Not a peep from most people crying about AA, affirmative action. And that's right, because those are two different things. Because most of the time, legacy means somebody who went through the school, who either has money or the capability, their children go to the school. And that's good for the school because the parents are more likely to give money to the school. They're more likely to be a little bit more loyal. And the children are more likely, potentially, to be either know how to act or do well in the school. They're less likely to underperform, but in many cases, I grant you that they do underperform, but that's the school's problem. Let's say a kid gets spoiled at this point, because many cases, children of the rich are spoiled. And then that's a problem for them. It's not a problem for me. Yeah, some people get pushed out because of the rich kids. You want to deal with that? Fine, let's deal with it. But don't pretend like it's the same thing as blacks who always, practically, have a victim mindset. The rich kids don't have a victim entitled mindset. They have a rich kid entitled mindset, which is different. It's different. I cracked. On purpose, kind of. So it's not a double standard. It's two different standards. It's two different issues. Blacks are always trying to point out some other thing that's supposedly wrong to distract from the wrong that they're enjoying and that they support. Shout out, Popcorn Thump Cake. Nice. And I'll catch up on the rest of the Super Chats in a second, guys. But that's probably good for now. Because I get carried away with popcorn. And you guys don't like them. Jazz hands Hake. Okay. I want to get to William number 7, who's on hold over here. William, thank you for calling. What's up?
Hey there, Hake. Can you hear me okay?
I can. I don't know if the audience can. I'll turn it up just to make sure. Go ahead.
Oh, no worries. I could use my outside voice or military voice, however you want to.
Yeah, use your military voice.
All right, soldier. No, I'm joking. Beta. Anyway, so hey, I have a quick question. Do you remember the first time I ever called in?
Vaguely, I vaguely remember talking to you maybe for the first time.
4 months ago. Shall I jog your memory?
Yeah.
I had asked you that I had come up with a situation where I realized I'm not present. And it's when sometimes I go parking in a big parking lot like Walmart or a Super Costco or something like that. And then I'll come out and I have no idea where I parked because I realized at the time I wasn't present when I parked.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's happened to me too.
And you went, I get it.
Yep.
So my question to you, sir, is has it happened in the last 4 months where you go, damn it, sorry, kids. Darn it, where was I? Where was I? Where did I park? And I'm just curious, has it happened in the last 4 months?
Right on. So you've been paying attention then, at least at that point, on those things.
I'm asking you if it happened to you because you said you could relate. When I made that comment, you said you could relate to me about that.
Yeah. In the last 4 months, I haven't gone out much to usually those are in huge structures, right? Like I have gone to the Grove within the past 4 months probably. And I don't think I got lost, but that was a place where you just feel lost even when you're not lost.
All right.
No, not the Grove, not the Grove. The Century City Mall where Anchor Baby went and he streamed. Century City.
Oh, yeah. City. I visited there once.
That mall, the Westfield Mall, I guess it is, in Century City.
I know. It's amazing. I'll never forget my friend took me there for the first time. It was like I was used to a mall that you could walk in about. You could walk in every store in about a half hour.
Wow.
And then I went to that one. And then I'm like, what? And then there was the Mall of America in Minnesota.
Ooh.
That was crazy.
But this structure, I have to tell you guys about this structure real quick. This parking structure is underground. It's underneath the mall. And the mall is like a whole block, a big block. A pretty big block anyway. So it's a block long / sort of wide. And it has like 4 different levels maybe. And it's crazy. Anyway, go ahead. Nice.
Oh, wow. No worries. So anyway, my question that I had posed to the producer, and first, that guy, Alan, man, that was a pretty profound and deep subject.
Yeah.
And crazy. Definitely not loosey-goosey, but that's all good. Whoa.
Is that your car?
Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yeah. Whoa. Boomer. Gen X.
Don't worry. We're leaving. We're leaving. Yes. How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah. He's Gen X.
Somebody's alarm went off next to me. I'm sorry, kids. There's nothing I could do about it. Somebody else's alarm went off. And that's crazy. So anyway, I had posed a question to your producer. What was harder to believe, that the earth is flat or Jesus is God? And I was just curious which would be easier for you to believe.
It would be easier.
Hello?
It would be easier for me to believe Jesus is God because that was actually a question in my mind, and it's never been a question in my mind whether the earth is flat.
That's funny. So, well, I mean, it seems like it's one of the subjects that gets talked about a lot.
Yeah, both of those.
I've been questioning about the whole Jesus God thing because, I mean, I've been listening to JLP now for a good six months. All y'all, actually. Really.
Yeah, nice.
And it seems, unless I'm totally misunderstanding, and it's possible because I'm old, brown, and slow. It seems like JLP thinks that we err saying Jesus is God, which I agree. I think that's a serious, not only twisting of the scriptures, but to say that God Himself that created all things is a person, when the scriptures clearly say, and I know you're well read in scriptures, Hake, to your credit, that it said that God is not a man that He should lie. Even though Jesus never lied, He just spoke the truth to the point where He willingly went to the cross and got nailed to it because He refused to not tell the truth, which is to me, the most manly thing about that person in Jesus was that he was man enough to speak only what the Father told him to his own detriment. That's what I think. That's what our example is. That's what a real man is supposed to do and supposed to be. So, yeah. So the fact that he is God, no, he came from God and spoke only the truth.
That's right.
And so, yeah. So then if we can be deceived about spiritual things and things that happened 2,000 years ago, we can be deceived about the spirit, how much more if they could deceive us about the physical realm? If they could fool us there, well, which was easier, to trick you about what's physically in front of you or about spiritual things? And I would say the easier is the spiritual thing.
Yeah.
But a good litmus test would be to fool us about our physical realm. So those are just my thoughts.
So are you suggesting that you might be flat earth friendly or flat earth questioning, flat earth open?
Well, what I can tell you, being in the military and I was even in Space Command, that I've never seen it myself. You know what I mean? I've never been able to. I can tell you when I've flown around the Earth or the globe, quote unquote, I'm doing air quotes, that there's been times where I'm heading to a certain country and we're up in the air and I'm like, why am I going this way? And then that thought goes in my mind and then goes away.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then there's also things that happen in the military when you talk, because people talk, even in people in high places and have special. And then, you know, when you get relaxed and start having beers, people start talking about certain things. And this may or may not have happened with you, with your friends and circle of people. But people do kind of talk around things, even though they're not supposed to, because you sign paperwork that you're not going to reveal stuff. So the fact that you have to sign non-disclosure statements,
right,
it should be a kind of a giveaway right there that something's going on. Not sure what, but something. Does that make sense?
Sort of. I mean, it's. I support non-disclosure agreements because you should keep the. You should keep the private business the private business. You should keep the private things that go on in the military private for the sake of. There's so many reasons for non-disclosure agreements because people are big mouths and say stuff.
Well, which is sad because nations war against one another, and yet that's contrary to the doctrine of Jesus.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you really want to look at the big picture, shame on us, right?
Yeah.
As in, if you don't agree with me, well, then we'll just go to war.
Right.
You know. So, and trust me, I raised my hand and served for 14 years very diligently and to the best of my ability. And when it was time to leave, I left. So, so those were just my thoughts. So you think it's easier to believe Jesus is God rather than the earth is flat?
Well,
nice.
You put me in a weird situation because I don't believe either of those things, right? But
excellent. That, Hake, you finally just passed the test.
Nice. Oh, cool. Right on.
No. Anyway, all right, well, that's it. Shout out to David from Ocala.
Yeah.
Good to hear him.
Shout out to the Gen Xers.
He reminds me of a good buddy from... He sounds just like a friend of mine from the military.
Oh, he's a young boomer, actually, I think. I forget.
Yeah, he's a little younger than me, I think. So, remember, you thought I was a tall white guy that played volleyball, but I'm actually a short, brown Mexican.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, man.
I'm not worried about... so peace out to everybody, and I'll talk to you another time, perhaps.
Thanks, William in California, and William number 7 in California. What quickly, you got me curious. What aren't you worried about, or who aren't you worried about? Whom?
Oh, did I say that?
You started to say, I'm not worried about...
Oh, I did?
Oh, okay.
Ah, man, I might have been... Well, I'm driving right now, and I'm...
Oh, you're not worried about that car who was honking at you, and you just did a hit and run on the Hake report. I'm kidding. I'm kidding around.
I was parked at the time.
Okay. They did a hit and run on you.
No, then someone's car alarm went off.
Your car rumbles too much. It's a big rumbling car, and it set off alarms.
Man, I'm sorry about that. I can't help it. It's my heritage.
Yeah, he's Mexican.
Yeah, right.
It's good to hear from you, William. Appreciate you, man.
I was raised by white folk. I don't even sound Mexican, do I?
No.
I sound white.
That's right.
You.
I can picture it now that you say it, though.
So I'm brown on the outside, white on the inside, I guess.
Yes. It's the only way to be. Take care. Bye. Huh. DITTY is on the line over here, which is I forget which first name I use for you.
It's Jason, but that's an alias too, because my name is too unique.
No worries. I like aliases.
Yeah, how's it going?
Going well. How about you?
Good, fantastic. You caught me right in between loads. I was driving a skid loader here, and now I got a moment. Sweet. So I had some questions. You know, I'm your favorite resident flurfer or something.
With a DITTY, not DIDDY.
Correct.
Okay, go ahead.
So I guess I'll ask some questions just to get a feel for where you're at. Were Adam and Eve, from your perspective or from the Bond perspective, were they real people, or is that just a story?
From the Bond perspective? There's no Bond perspective, I don't think, on Adam and Eve. Yeah, I think they were real people, but it could just be a story that, because I haven't really looked into it. I heard that Moses wrote much of the Old Testament, especially that part. I don't know if that's true. And maybe he wrote it as like that what happens to us all, or maybe it was a real story. I don't know, don't care, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are you more privy to creationism or the Big Bang?
I don't know what privy means, but I believe in creation. But I don't mind if it was a bang or not bang or however it went about.
Well, I mean, I guess the argument there is that, you know, the universe was built and
how does a bang disprove God? But anyway, go ahead.
It doesn't disprove God. It's just that everything was it's designer or accident is the question.
Oh, designer, man. I'm pretty sure designer. I mean, that's God.
Yeah. So like that whole thing comes with like an engine works when it's designed and built properly. You know, you can't just cool off a piece of metal and it turns into an engine.
Yeah.
It has to be built properly to work at all.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what kind of proper Earth would be built flat?
Well, there's the question. If we live in a big, empty, spacious universe, and there's other planets, and this is just one of many, are there? Do you believe that there are other life forms, intelligent life forms, on other planets? And if so, do they have or need a Jesus?
I do not believe that there are any other life on any other planet.
Okay,
not that I think about it, but I don't believe it.
Okay.
Yeah. And if they did, they would have the same God as us. Satan.
Would he be like an insectoid Jesus? Would he be a humanoid Jesus? Would he need to be different?
Well, no, it would be God. It wouldn't be Jesus necessarily.
Fair.
Be God. It would be the Father.
So, do they have a Christ? Do you think? Do sentient beings need a Christ for
this
forgiveness?
This is all because I don't even think about whether there's life on other planets, and I don't even believe it.
Yeah, neither do I. Neither do I, because you know, if we're in an enclosed universe, then there is nothing outside of the Earth.
Oh, okay. So you think that there's no life because we're in an enclosed universe, whereas I think the universe is, I don't know what it is. It's big though, and it has a lot of empty space, and it has a big, beautiful ball Earth flying through it, twirling and dancing around the sun inside of the Milky Way.
We accept the term flat earther, but that's not really like accurate.
I accept the term ball-tard. And it's probably more accurate than flat Earth. Stationary Earth are kind of not flat, but flat-ish.
Well, it could very well be a ball, but it would be a ball the size of what they're telling us Jupiter is, because the dimensions they're giving us just aren't so.
Maybe your eyes are maybe vision bends the way that light bends.
Yeah, which was another explanation for why the sun might look like it's setting, is that after a certain distance, the air would turn into a lens and refract the light and bend it downwards and make it look like it's going over.
I don't understand how that can be. I don't understand how that part can be, but okay.
Yeah, well, when you shine like a laser through a glass of water, you see it kind of make a bend downwards at whatever angle.
Right. Yeah.
So the air could act like that over a certain distance.
True.
Yeah. What else was I going to say? Thing. It was related.
I'm gonna pull up my flat Earth, my ball Earth design. Not design, my drawing. Where did I put it? In the news? Ball Earth. Yes, cool.
And then Big Bump asked me how are the seasons explained on the flat Earth model, and they're explained the same way, except it makes less sense on the ball Earth because the tilt is what we're supposedly accounting for the season. When the North Pole is tipped towards the sun, we have summer in the northern hemisphere.
Yeah. Yes, I cracked a little. Man, what's wrong with me? Yeah.
But
so
on the Earth's elliptical path around the sun, the summer is actually when it's the farthest away from the sun. So we're being told that a few thousand degrees closer because of our tilt is responsible for all the heat, but we're a few million miles farther away in total.
Direct sunlight on beautiful Australia. Actually, it's probably away from Australia's away from. Is it dark for you guys over now? You Aussies in chat. Is it dark for you right now? I think direct versus indirect sunlight is more powerful than closeness to the sun, maybe. But, I mean, because it's within reason, you know?
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
But it makes more sense on flat Earth? How? Because you described the issues with ball Earth seasons.
Well, that's the issue with ball Earth. It's the same explanation for flat Earth and ball Earth on why the seasons are direct, like you said, direct exposure to sunlight. When it's how many hours of daylight there are is going to affect the temperature.
Yeah, that too. But it's not just hours, it's directness of the sun, because the sun is more at an angle. I can spend more time out on the beach and get less burnt, even in the wintertime, because the sun is at an angle over here. Here's little Hake right here. Over down in San Onofre.
I'm not watching, but I can imagine.
Right, no, I'm pointing it for the audience and the kids. And then here's the sun down here shining, whereas the sun's right here, stomping down on Hake, turning them red. All right. So anyway.
So it's the same explanation for seasons for both models.
Well, a little bit less because we're on a curved ball Earth that's spinning at a tilt, and you're on one flat old plane, and the sunset doesn't make any sense on the flat Earth
model. The sun and the moon are only like 70 miles wide, and they're like 3,000 miles off the surface of the Earth. They're local.
Right, and that doesn't even make sense because sunsets and sunrises.
The colors don't make sense? What about it doesn't make sense?
The fact that the sun goes down below the horizon would not make any sense on the flat Earth.
Except if light is being refracted through the atmosphere to make it look like that.
From where?
Which is,
it doesn't even make sense.
Over distance.
You have to show. You have to like point me to a YouTube video or something, man, of this.
You've climbed mountains, right?
Yeah. Well, hiked a little.
So
yes.
When you're looking down at the city or whatever, you can see the haze of air and oxygen, right? Air is not actually invisible.
Yeah, I can see the smog. Yeah.
In Vancouver, I was there climbing mountains, and you can see the atmosphere under a certain altitude, and you're above it.
Yeah.
But through enough of that atmosphere, it actually would behave like a lens.
Right, but the sun dips below the horizon, which means it's going eclipsed by its own horizon. Hake's face is the sun, and it goes, and you're right here. and you see it, and then you don't see me anymore.
Okay, well, have it described like this then. Like you have a laser pointed at you, and it's at the other end of the table, and your eye and the laser are both at the table height, and then you pass a glass of water, which would be like the atmosphere, in front of the laser, and the laser bends down and doesn't make it to your eye.
That would only work on a ball.
No, that works with a flat table and a glass of water.
Oh, you'll have to show me, man. You'll have to show me. Or thanks. Nice.
Okay. All right. Enough of me.
Cool, man.
Have a good one.
All right, you too. Take care. Him Diddy, Jason, Florida. Now I have to get to Josh in Georgia on the line over here. Josh, hold on. Complicated business. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Not much.
Long time.
Yeah. Thanks for calling.
Say what?
I said thanks for calling.
Oh yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me, man. I was going to comment on that old Obama sitting next to Trump at the Jimmy Carter funeral.
Wasn't that so beautiful? How Trump behaved around him, just open. Go ahead. Sorry.
It reminded me of you and your co-host, Joe from Phoenix. Did it not?
Yeah, that's true. We laugh and have fun, and we think the worst of each other.
Right. And the thoughts are lies, and it's like,
Wow, Hank.
that's reality. Like all the, your show is basically like different people calling in about their beliefs.
Right.
But the beliefs don't, in reality, the belief, whether the earth is flat, whether the blacks are the real Jews, whether Jesus is God, in reality, that doesn't even matter.
Yeah. Right. Because if we're hating each other over our evil, over each other's evil,
right.
Then we're evil. It's dumb. It's evil.
That's the devil's trick, is to keep us fighting amongst each other.
Yeah, not looking at the evil inside. Like JLP's biblical question, are you paying attention to what's happening to you? Oh no, Joe from Phoenix is Fed threatening me. Or what's happening in you? Why am I panicking about Joe from Phoenix Fed threatening me? Why am I getting mad? Or why am I talking to Joe from Phoenix so long? Why am I discriminating against Mark from Los Angeles and in favor of Joe from Phoenix?
Right.
Yeah. Right.
That's like, and you know what? It's like, it's about converting people when you don't, they expect you to, fight them or hate them or think of them as your enemy. But when you don't do that, it's like, whoa, that's the win-win,
Yeah, true.
Yeah. I think Obama might switch over and become a Trump supporter, man. Would you believe it? If he publicly denounced and said, you know what? I've been lying all this time. I'm tired of Michelle beating me up. I want to join the MAGA side. You think that could happen?
I think that's wishful thinking, but it would be sort of amusing. I feel like there is some acquiescing to Trump because, one, the voters really voted for him.
Hard, yeah.
And we voted hard. That's true. And and then two, they know he's right. There's certain things that they're not going to let happen. I get. We'll see if he gets the birthright citizenship revoked, but they know he's right.
You think so? I don't think that. I mean, I used to be I used to be a liberal, man.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Right.
I know. Genuinely
interesting.
Yeah, and it's even deeper. Is like a lot of people don't realize Martin Luther King was the same thing as Black Lives Matter is.
Yeah,
today,
I did not realize that either until around the time of Uncle Tom too.
And Chado William or Chatham Jackson. Chado Jackson.
Oh, right? Jackson. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
he got it right on point.
Yeah. He's I like that guy. He's a even keel type of a person, and I respect that.
Yep, he's a plumber too, you know that?
Indeed, a businessman. Another
This
black
man.
man whom I would put in a high position. I think that he should be the Secretary of Education before
Yeah.
they close it down. You know, I think he should
Yeah.
be like the education czar, history czar, something like that. Because he
Yeah.
is brilliant.
Yeah, he's a Booker T. Washington kind of black.
Yeah.
You know, as opposed to a W.E.B. Du Bois.
That's right.
That's all it is, man. And you know, or what's it? What's the guy? Remember, it was in Atlanta. It was oh man, I forgot his name, but yeah, his name skips my mind. But yeah, that's the two. There's Southern blacks that are straight up see clearly, like Clarence Thomas, you know.
Right.
But then you have like a middle, like you know the guy who did the MLK speech that was
Yeah.
sounding all fake and fraud.
Right.
You know, that's I guess some people can call that a conservative black, but that's not really a. I don't see. You know, he's just. You can say that's a liberal. You know, but I don't. I heard him talking bad about that lesbian preacher.
Is she really lesbian? The one who looks
I don't
sort of
even know.
lesbian. Yeah.
She just looks it. Yeah, maybe she's not really, but she has that mentality. But
Yeah.
you know, I used to be like that too. You know, so I don't think people know. People
Yeah.
don't really know, and that's all it is just to not hate people. You know, be patient with them, and that's the win-win. You know, so
I agree,
That's all.
man. Definitely. Big time.
yeah, cool. Well, yeah, that's all I had, man.
It's good to hear from you, Josh in Georgia.
Yes, sir. I'll be around.
Sounds good. Take care, man.
All right, man. Later, bro.
Bye.
Yeah.
Before I get back to calls, hang tight, callers. I would like to get to a few super chats over here. Oh, come on. Oh, no wonder. I'm such a boomer. See, there's my ball Earth model. This is the Earth, if you can see the cursor. That's the Earth up there. It's a circle, roughly. This is on a Post-it note. Sharpen your pencil, Hake, before you draw, says somebody. And I drew like the center of the Earth with like a dot and a line to indicate like the radius of the Earth. And then I drew little circles on top of this Earth, if you will. And those circles represent visibility, what you see. Say you're here with Hake on the Earth, down on the in San Onofre, California, whatever. You see more like a semicircle almost, because I'm stuck. I can't really see past the cliffs. I'm down on the shore. But then I see like a semicircle, sort of the ocean. And that semicircle is pretty small. And that's what this is, right here. Let's see, I'm in the middle of the ocean. That's what I see. That's all I see on there. How much curve are you going to see on a semicircle of a flattish disk of visibility? And a airplane flying above the Earth can't see much further either. It just sees that much. And then the International Space Station is a mere like 200, 300 miles above the Earth, and that's all it sees. It doesn't even see the whole Earth, even though it's supposedly in space, I think. And I say supposedly because it's not that far out. It's just a couple hundred miles, 200, 300 miles above the Earth. So you can't even see much. And so you got to be really far away and you never even see the whole. You have to be like infinity miles to see the whole hemisphere of whatever part of the Earth you're looking at. You see something close, you see like, let's say, Australia. If you're real close up to Australia, Australia takes up the whole visible portion of the Earth. I noticed. The only reason I know that is because I hadn't really thought about it, but I did see it and somebody's pointed it out on a picture on Twitter. Somebody took a picture of it from like really far away, and all they saw was like, I'm putting my eye right up against it. So that's space. Really cool, huh? Space and visibility and horizon and expecting to see a curve. The curve is beyond the curve. The sign of the curve is beyond the horizon. The fact that you can't see past the horizon, it just drops off. People are like, oh, it's vanishing point. No, it's clearly a drop off. That's that. Anyway, I said that I was getting to super chats, but I'm spurging out over on something else. Let me double check this. That's my Bill Clinton. That's not bad. Okay. But anyway, super chats. Based America First with the super chat. John Eastman, I'm familiar with that name, who authored Born in the USA? ? Reassessing birthright citizenship in the wake of 9/11. That's the title of his book, I guess. According to Based America First, who is never wrong, by the way, wrote an informative article regarding Trump's 14th Amendment executive order and clause subject to the jurisdiction thereof. Point 1, both 14A, 14th Amendment requirements, must be met to confer citizenship by birth. 2, 14th Amendment writers unambiguously stated those born on U.S. soil who are subject to a foreign power are excluded from citizenship. Oh, boom, in your face. Supreme Court repeatedly ruled that partial jurisdiction, i.e. foreign citizens, children of diplomats, are excluded. Opponents referenced 1898 U.S. versus Wong Kim Ark, but this involved parents who were permanently domiciled, permanent residents in the United States, not here temporarily nor illegally. They weren't here on like some student visa or overstayed work visa or tourist visa, pregnancy tourism mess like the Asians and the Latinos and the Africans and the Europeans, shout out. 1923 Congress extended a citizenship to American Indians under the Naturalization Clause, which wouldn't have been necessary if being born on U.S. soil was sufficient. Oh, boom! 1920s guest worker program ended in the wake of the Great Depression. More than 1 million Mexicans were repatriated with their non-citizen U.S.-born children. Boom! In your face! Shout out. Bureaucrats have informally acted as if born on U.S. soil was sufficient since the 1950s. Wow, I told you the 50s were no good. It's the 40s that were based. But they weren't that based because they gave birth to the 50s, which gave birth to the 60s, which gave birth to the year 2000. They had not acted that way prior. Judge who blocked the EO claims he has over 40 years' experience on the bench. Obviously, he can't read. It will be good for this to go to the Supreme Court. There's a lot of supporting precedent. Next, maybe we can get any regulation of the Second Amendment is an infringement. Based America First. Thank you, man. With your 2 coffees. Very cool. Sam, 3 coffees. James, you personally can get away from your corruption, caller. How? James, turn to the Lord. Well said, Bread. Rich medicine for poor spirit. Unfortunately, no one wants medicine. At least that kind of medicine. Pharmaceuticals and narcotics more acceptable. But on the flip side, that narrow road ain't gon' have no traffic. Have no traffic. In my Texas accent. I don't know if that's Texas at all. My bag. But you probably appreciate the attempt. Feliz 25, Bread. And take it easy on the quote-unquote blacks. Our childhoods were terrible. Yeah, shout out to the blacks. I'm understanding better and better. Shout out to JLP for showing love to them. That's cool. And Popcorn's Thump Keg, real quick, right? Okay? Nothing is real quick with Hake and Popcorn. During his interview with Hannity a day or so ago, Trump again touted the use of tariffs as economic leverage against various countries. I collect billions in tariffs from China, or I'll put a 20% tariff on this country. Not to beat a dead horse. Whoosh, whoosh. Oh, that's a live horse. Oh, this horse is alive, man. I enjoy this conversation. The American companies how do you know they're American? Okay, but anyways, he says the American companies are the ones who pay the tariffs to the government. The idea that the External Revenue Service is going to collect money from tariffs doesn't make sense because tariffs are not an external revenue source, he says. If the only tool you have is a hammer, everything will look like a nail, and it seems like Trump is going to use tariffs as his hammer. It was evident to people that raising minimum wage would increase prices. I'm not sure why people don't understand that imposing tariffs will also increase prices for consumers. Manufacturers aren't going to eat that price. Aren't just going to eat that price. I'm trying not to split the infinitive like he did there. Increase. That's true. If they find an alternate supplier, that takes time. And standing up your own manufacturing is costly. Where does that cost go? He asks. Yeah, I'm sure that there will be price increases. There is a lot of stuff that I've covered on this show that I don't recall that does not come into mind to address this point because you don't understand the whole picture, man. But I've covered it. Anchor Baby has covered it, I think. And there's more. Trump is smarter than you and me, more knowledgeable. And he's not one of those use the same solution for every economic problem type person. Watch and learn, maybe, if your eyes are open. Because those aren't just American companies. All these, it will kind of force their hands. All these, if it's so bad, why are they imposing like major tariffs on us? Like we don't even sell American cars overseas, and it's not just only because American cars stink. It's also because they tariff us. I mean, they tariff us so they can sell their own stuff. And I don't know. It's a tactic to get better deals. And it's a valid tactic. And there are many ways in which we need to you suffer to do the right thing sometimes. It's like, I have to impose this, and it's going to cost me my girlfriend. But it's better than people pleasing my girlfriend forever. She's going to be miserable anyway. And we're both going to be miserable. I do the right thing, and I suffer that ego pain a bit and pay more, or probably pay less money. But anyway, you suffer for what's right. It's kind of like Obama. If you really believed in the climate and energy fake scaremongering, Obama was like, energy prices will necessarily skyrocket, but it's what we have to do. You know, like they want gas prices through the roof to push people to electric or whatever. I don't know, which doesn't even make sense, by the way, but at least not fully. But anyway, you suffer for doing what's right, and then in the long run, it's good. I forget what, there were some really good answers to that, but I don't remember what they were. Thank you, man. And Carver bought our coffee. Thank you, man. Says, hey, Hake, it was nice to see the snake puppet make a comeback. Ever since Joe and Mark threw each other into the volcano during their final battle for Hake's approval, it hasn't seen much action. I know. Maybe it's time to pass the torch to a new caller. Who deserves the honor of the puppet? Should Joe never return? I think he will. We wish him well, but I don't know. I haven't heard from him. KFC John, Ronnie? Derek? Just kidding, he nice. Which Derek? Terry? Dang, imagine if I did it to Terry. That would be funny and cold-hearted. But in a good way. All in good fun. Thank you, man. What's up, Rumble crew, DLive crew, all of you? Okay. George in Fremont, Ohio. Is it? Is that it? Is that you, George, in Fremont, Ohio? Is that right?
What up, Hake? How's it going?
Going well. How about you?
It's going all right, man. Just busy.
Cool.
But I wanted to talk about this flat Earth thing really quickly, just from a couple different angles. One, these guys, these flat Earthers, they have no idea, they have no concept of just the vastness of Earth.
Yeah.
You know, if you you remember those maps, from the classroom, those classroom world maps that they used to have on the wall that were kind of big.
Yeah.
If you were to hold a quarter up against that map, the thickness of that quarter would be the thickness of our atmosphere.
Whoa.
You know?
Dang.
So these guys, they have no idea how big the Earth is, but they always have these but this and yeah, but you know the atmosphere acts like a lens and this and that, and they get away with it.
Right.
But why? And the reason why is luxury or leisure. You know, back in the day, if you go back to the pioneer days or you know medieval or what, you couldn't afford to make mistakes. You know, if you made too many mistakes in the wilderness back then, you were going to die. You were going to starve to death, right? But now, because of modern conveniences, modern economies, guys can sit on their couch and come up with these ideas about flat Earth, and they just get away with it because there's no real consequences to it anymore.
Right.
You know, but
we're all spoiled.
Exactly.
It's kind of like
it's
almost as bad as the gays. You know how the gays get away with being gay longer. Because we have all these big rich cities where they can make a lot of money doing not much and have a lot of free time and stay up late and have all these drugs to stay awake and live longer.
I disavow.
Yeah, me too. I'm just kidding, flat earthers. You're not like the gays. Well, everybody's like that because they identify with evil. Anyway.
Yeah, you know, but it's just annoying just how they can just say, yeah, but if you climb up a mountain, you can see farther. Yeah, you know, no crap. That's how it works. The
Right.
higher you are, the farther you can see, you know. But that's just kind of annoying. It just bothers me a little bit.
Interesting. That's why we got to pay attention to what's happening in us and not to us.
And you know, economically, can you name a successful company that follows the flat Earth model, that they make money from the Earth being flat, or what, like the navigation or shipping or whatever? There are none.
No,
there are none.
Yeah,
that concept does not survive in the real world.
Somebody says, caller, explain why most pilots are flat earthers.
Most pilots are not flat earthers. That's a retarded idea. I don't get it.
Sorry, Amanda. And I can't back you up. But yeah.
Anyway, new topic.
Okay.
Jennifer Aniston and Obama. Are you familiar with this latest?
No. Jennifer Aniston is that pretty actress gal who may or may not have been married to somebody and no longer married to somebody, and maybe I'm mixing her up with somebody else.
She was married to Brad Pitt, right?
Was she? And okay, that's what I was thinking.
And Brad Pitt left her for Angelina Jolie back in the day.
No way. What? Was this
right?
was this in the tabloids?
Am I thinking the same person? Am I thinking the same
Oh,
person?
you mean Brad Pitt left her for
Right.
Okay. I was thinking you said Jennifer Aniston left Brad for Angelina Jolie.
No.
But yeah, Brad Pitt got with Angelina.
So then Jennifer Aniston, she started working out, doing Pilates, eating right. She got herself together.
But she was always fit.
Evidently.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh yeah.
He's like,
evidently, well, the rumor on X is that she bagged the former president.
Oh gosh. Oh well, we don't do rumors, but anyway, they say there's a random Barack Obama rumor on Yahoo News. Okay, so all right, continue. I disavow it, but continue.
That's it. That's it. You know.
Yeah.
She became a high value woman and evidently grabbed a high value man.
Okay, well this is gossipy, and I disavow it, but it's amusing. It's funny. I don't believe it at all, but I don't know anything, and none of us know anything, and that's funny. She's so pretty and blue-eyed. Is that her natural hair? I don't think it is.
No, not all the time. She does have extensions and stuff, but she's
highlights.
Really, really well put together for being like 50.
Yeah. I have great respect for her. If I respect any woman. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, let's talk about Coonan.
Okay.
Man, why does it seem like Bond supports the one country that no one else can talk about so much?
Israel? Why do all of us at Bond love Israel so much?
I didn't say it, you did.
Yeah. And we're Unenke for Israel.
Yeah, man, first of all, not even half, like 90% of Congress is owned, bought and paid for. You can look and see all the payments that were made to all these congressmen.
Right.
You can see all the
they're
wars,
paid. They get supported. That doesn't mean they're owned. But anyway, yes. I grant you your point.
If you're not even allowed to criticize it, that kind of shows you who's in charge. Right?
They can criticize. They're just too cowardly to, maybe, or they don't have a criticism. It's kind of like the blacks. Do the blacks own us? We're not allowed to criticize the blacks.
Hake, all you do is criticize us.
I know. Oh, you're black? I can start to hear it now.
Yeah, got you. I'm in disguise.
Nice. Is this your first time calling, George? Have you called my show before?
Oh no, I called you 3 or 4 times. Man.
Nice, man. But Israel, I always grew up kind of liking Israel. I knee-jerk Christian applauded when they would give their vocal support for Israel, these phony politicians. And so I was just raised that way. JLP too, I think. And I see the criticisms of the Jewish liberals and some of the Jewish conservatives, like Ben Shapiro and all them. I get the criticisms, and I agree with a lot of them. And I don't necessarily agree with the criticisms of Benjamin Netanyahu. I think he's the best one they have. Some people may disagree, and I'm ignorant, I acknowledge. But I think that he's better than anybody who would replace him. I don't support the wars. I've heard, and I don't know if it's true, that a lot of the wars that we did in the Middle East were, quote unquote, for Israel, or because of the conflict caused by them just being there. Am I allowed to exist? You know how the gays say, they hate us for existing. They hate Israel for existing.
We have a right to defend ourselves.
Yeah.
We're defending ourselves as they incinerate millions of people.
I grant you that I am starting to scoff at the rhinos and Democrats and the bipartisans who are all evil, who are knee-jerk supporting Israel. I don't support Israel like that. I support Israel, I hope, and I want to anyway, in a righteous, godly way, in that I love everybody. I wish them all well. I wish everybody well. And right now, they're embedded, the pro-Israel people, bad or good, mostly bad, because people are evil, are embedded in our country, in the electorate and in the government, and many are in like high places. And so you don't have a choice but to work with them. And why not work with them in a way that's hopefully for the good of our country too, the way that I think Trump is doing.
Do you want to work with evil, Hake?
You don't have a choice. You have to work with people who are evil.
Do you want to work with evil, Hake?
Yes.
Okay. I don't.
But you don't have a choice. You have to work with people who are evil.
You always have a choice. You always have a choice. God tells us we have a choice.
No, he doesn't. He said,
Okay.
choose you
Well,
this
we'll
day
disagree on
whom
that.
you will serve. I get you that. I grant you that. He said,
Thank
choose you
you.
this day whom you will
Thank you.
serve. I set you before you life and death. Choose life. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. But can you serve the Lord while working with Israel? I think you can.
I don't. Well, okay, we disagree on that. That's fine.
But you
I don't
don't
think you're a
know
bad
what
person.
working with Israel means, because working with Israel, you don't have a choice but to work with them. You
Hey,
got to work with everybody.
Bro, I just said I agree with you.
Oh, okay. I thought you didn't. I thought you said the other thing. Sorry, I'm being autistic. That don't mean I'm gay.
But that's it, man. I just wanted to, say what's up.
Nice.
See how you're doing.
It's great talking with you. You're fun. And
All
you're
right, I'll
and
catch
you're
you
and
later,
you're
bro.
entertaining. It must be because you got to be black.
I can dance too.
I bet.
All right, bro. Catch you later.
Are you fat or fit?
Oh, man. You know what? Honestly, I'm fat. I gained a lot of weight,
Yeah.
but I used to be in the best shape of my life here about 6 or 7 years ago. But I did. I gained about 60 pounds.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Well,
But I'm working on it.
right on, man. I wish you well.
You too.
Okay.
Catch you later.
All right.
Bye.
Take care. I asked him that because he sounds like a fat, fun person. But he could also really be fit. You never know. That's cool. All right. Adam is a first-time caller in Massachusetts on the line here. Adam, thank you for calling and holding. What's up?
Hey, Hake. I've
Hey.
been listening to your show for a while.
Cool.
And, yeah, I enjoy it every day. Such positive energy, except some of your callers, they call in to be wicked.
Right. Yeah.
One thing I noticed you always talking about is ending affirmative action.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you celebrate the end of it, right? You're happy.
Yeah. I'm for getting away from the kissing up culture.
Right. And that is consistent with this, what you just said, you suffer for doing what's right. But in the end, it's a long-term winning strategy.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this, Hake. After laying this legal foundation, a long time ago, the civil rights movement, they inverted our Constitution to be a tyranny of the majority, and they flipped it upside down. The court said their justification was that there's such nationwide upheaval during the civil rights movement that the going concern of the court is a threat, and if they don't cave in and just say it's constitutional, even though they admit there's no constitutional basis for the civil rights movement,
Yeah.
that they would end the court, that this movement would just end the country. So the reasoning is, what good is upholding the rule when upholding it could end our republic? So it was purely speculation. They didn't cite their sources. They could have just made all of this up because they were with the civil rights movement as agents. Perhaps, you can only speculate.
Yeah. Huh.
So that's what happened and gave rise to this. But the question is, and has been since then, because it's specifically targeted at what they call the white people. And the question is, what happens when white people become the minority?
Yeah.
Will they qualify for affirmative action? The courts never answered that question. So here we are. All we have to do is hold our breath, and they're going to announce that whites are the minority. So all of a sudden, Hake, is what I'm saying is whites are about to be a minority. They're about to get affirmative action under these laws. Because if you look in these offices, there's no white people there. They could definitely use some affirmative action for this white minority. But white people are, I think, being snookered, convinced to support ending what they're about to achieve. You know what I mean? Like, white people are about to get affirmative action. They just haven't done the census yet to announce that they're actually the minority. And I think they're ushering in using Ramaswamy to garner support for ending this before whites are the minority. So
that's funny, man.
And that's what made me think of you. Is you say you suffer for what's doing right, but it's a long-term winning strategy. So I was asking, hey, are you willing to end DEI knowing that you're about to be the minority who's about to benefit next because it's the right thing to do?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's big talk because I'm not faced with that real thing at this time, you know. But I encourage whites to take advantage, and anybody, to take advantage of the opportunities that are before you, even if they're unjust, but also not let those opportunities, even if they're unjust, not let them spoil you, you know. It's pretty tricky not to get spoiled by getting special treatment, you know. But my politics have always been, at least in my mind, based on principle, what's right, not necessarily what benefits me or doesn't benefit me personally, because most of my politics has nothing to do with my life. You know, abortion, the gays, the illegals. Yeah, I have some illegal friends, but I don't really see it affecting, like none of it really affects me.
I see.
Yeah. It's just on what's right. I mean,
Yeah,
lowering taxes would maybe help, or a lot of the deregulation stuff would help. But yeah, so.
What about when the wrong thing benefits everybody but you, but now you're about to benefit from the wrong thing?
Yeah.
Or you're going to support ending the wrong thing and staying where you're at because of principle. Yeah, I
don't think whites will ever get affirmative action because they're just going to continue to be anti-white because, you know, they'll say, oh, whites never suffered discrimination, even though they've been discriminating against the whites for the past 70, 80 years or more. So they're liars.
Well, that's what the question kind of gets to is, was this law created to destroy white people? Because if it was, then when whites become a minority, we'll just end affirmative action. Okay, that's the proof that it was a genocidal type of ethnic cleansing.
Oh.
Or on the other hand, you give it to whites and you say, okay, now you're the minority, now you get affirmative action. Then that will ultimately show that it wasn't a genocidal plan, that it was an honest, equitable thing that the court accomplished, but now is the time where the mask is going to come off, or it's going to reveal itself as something else. It's about to be huge, and this Ramaswamy guy is leading the charge, trying to end DEI right before white people.
Well, Asians are a minority, and Asians suffer. They get discriminated against by affirmative action. And Ramaswamy is a type of Asian. I don't know if he's ever been suffered from this affirmative action, anti-Asian and anti-white discrimination. But Asians are naturally overrepresented in schools because they're naturally, or at least they're trained to be more disciplined and smart and capable academically. And so they suffer, even though they're a so-called minority, from affirmative action. So your whole thing is you're pretending like there's a question of the motive of affirmative action or the evil or good of it. But no, let's just get rid of it, man.
The thing is, hey, is you're missing that it's applied against white people
and
only.
against Asians.
No, it doesn't mention them. No,
It doesn't have to
against
mention them.
white.
It's against. It works against people who are the most capable, overrepresented, quote unquote, in the schools.
White schools.
Yeah, and Asians in the white schools. I'm not far be it from me to take up for the Asians. I think we should stop them from coming in here.
Well, I don't know how you brought them in. No, the
because
civil rights
you're
movement,
saying
the
that
legislation-
just the fact that whites are a minority, they're going to benefit from it, and that's not true.
Well, that's all the civil rights court mentioned. They didn't mention Asians. They said white majority. So these
I know,
laws
but
are
I'm talking
aimed
about in
at the
reality. I'm
white
not talking
majority.
about courts. Courts are not reality. Reality
No,
is.
this whole civil rights movement thing might be undone by the courts.
Oh, I doubt it.
You don't
it's
think
in,
so? Well,
no, because it's in people's hearts. People's souls have been corrupted by the civil rights delusion, by the fake idea of racism and the fake false value of diversity. There's literal suckers who literally believe in diversity. Can you get any dumber? But they do. Shout out.
the civil rights movement spiritually converted all of those followers into the agents of chaos. They were spiritually converted.
They
through
already
the
were.
civil
They
rights
already
movement.
were Satan's children, and they fell for it.
They just got politically organized, perhaps, in the civil rights movement.
Yeah.
You think so, or you think they were already politically organized? Hake?
No, they were already satanic. That's how they fell for it.
Yeah, but the economic policy in the United States wasn't satanic at that time.
Yeah, it was. I think
entirely.
Oh, maybe not.
Not entirely.
Are you white or Asian?
Well, I'm a mixed myself.
Yeah.
But the whole white thing is a social construct, in my opinion. I think to really answer the race question is, where were you created? Were you created from dirt, or did you people's creational stories, like, were you created from dirt?
I didn't want this long
from
answer. Are you talking about
ooze? Oh, this is what I'm saying is, did you come from a primordial ooze? Did you come from outer space? These questions I think, are the ultimate determination of your race, is where did you come from? That, I think, determines your race.
I heard that Baron is part Nephilim.
Okay, then. He's the agent of the chaos.
I got to go. Nice talk. Great. I don't know if it's a great call, but you got me going. Adam in Massachusetts. Call me again, man. I feel like I've talked to you before. Why are you saying you're a first-time caller?
You have talked to me before. Well, I've got
okay.
a new phone number. I didn't know you would recognize me.
No, I totally recognize you.
All right, God bless, Hake.
Yeah, you too, man. Appreciate you.
Bye.
Bye. I think I appreciate him. Daniel in California is on the line over here. How you doing, Daniel?
Manuel.
Oh, Lord. I knew that there was something
That's all right.
crazy.
I get it. I don't got a good phone, so I know it don't come in clear.
Yeah, okay, we'll give it that. We won't blame it on Derek, the music producer's ears. Go ahead.
Yeah. How you been?
I've been well. How are you? It's good to hear from you.
Been doing well. Chasing crypto right now, so we'll see how that goes.
Good for you, man. I think that's something to chase at least a little bit. And you seem wise. You don't seem like you won't blow it all.
No. I've already tripled my money. It's just, I've been in it for about 2 years, and I just, research, take my time, don't do like these people panic sell and jump around and switch. I've been holding on to like the same stuff for almost 2 years, and so it's worked out. But yeah, that's been working out pretty good. So these California fires, what's crazy is like LA gets water from us right here in the valley.
Yeah, we get it from you guys up in the NorCal or Central Cal, whatever.
Central California. The North Cal is that's where that whole smelt thing is at.
Oh, the fish, the smelt fish.
Right, and what they're doing really, because I used to work in the wine and alcohol industry, doing welding and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
And up north, there's wineries like crazy, and they use a lot of water and waste a lot of water, cleaning vats and piping and stuff like that.
Oh, and
So
not just watering the grapevines?
No. like, yeah, they water the grapevines, but like the amount of water a winery takes. Like, think about, have you ever driven by a winery?
I have. There was a little event for the Republicans at a winery where Jesse spoke one time. Like
You ever see big tanks?
big what?
Big tanks.
Tanks.
Like where they store the alcohol and all that.
Maybe like those big vats, kind of like a sort of like a brewery.
Right.
I used to drive by a brewery at all the time on my way to college.
Yeah, I used to work at those. So like, there's like 15,000 gallon tanks, 20,000 gallon tanks.
Wow.
And they fill those full of water just to flush them and dump it, to clean it.
Okay.
So they waste water like crazy. That's why they want the water up north. That's why they're arguing for the smelt thing, so they don't have to send water down to the valley.
Well, isn't that convenient? Yeah.
Right. And then from the valley, we send it to LA, which is even crazier. Is we send you guys water, and you guys didn't have not you. You know what I'm getting at. So the Palisades was empty.
Yep. The Palisades Reservoir was empty. Ridiculous.
Isn't that wild?
It is. It's insane. And it was empty for like a year, somebody suggested.
Right. So I know a lot of farmers in this area. I grew up with a lot of their kids, and I just hang out with people here and there.
Yeah.
And they're only going to plant half of the fields this year because the water rights, the price is so high that they're only planting half of the fields this year. So watch. Tomato prices are going to be outrageous. A lot of other things are going to be expensive still this year.
That's nuts, man. It's insane. Thanks a lot, evil, lame, ridiculous California people.
Yeah, California, we just got the wrong leadership,
Yeah.
They try to tax us out of oblivion, which isn't going to work,
Right.
It's just going to bring the cost of everything up, and then no one else can afford it. And then we'll just be a slave state, they'll own everything, and we'll just be happy.
What a mess.
Hopefully you guys save it. I'm proud you guys have this situation, the bond and your radio show. 'Cause the word needs to get out.
Yeah.
Change yourself, work better on yourself, quit blaming others. So
that's the answer.
And the January 6th thing. So how are you supposed to prosecute anybody if all the evidence has been thrown away?
Whoa, is that what happened?
That's what they're saying the January 6th committee did. They destroyed the evidence.
I had not heard that.
You haven't heard that?
I mean, I'm not. It's not that I'm not disputing it. I just don't know. You know me. I only read CNN.
Right. You don't got to believe me. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing a little.
Wow.
Call it question maybe. But okay. So how is Trump supposed to say he's supposed to prosecute them? How is he supposed to prosecute them with no evidence?
Yeah.
So technically, in my mind, he had no choice but to pardon them. So they put him in a predicament to where no matter what, he was going to have to pardon him. How are you going to prosecute someone with no evidence?
Yeah.
So you have no choice but to let them go. I think that's what they had planned the whole time. Just drag it out 4 years. Once Trump gets in there, we'll say, look, he pardoned all these terrible, murderous people, and, try and use it against them. But, most people see through it like it's a mess, like they lied about a lot of things. And I'm sure there's some bad things that happened that day, too. Just like they burned down the U.S.,
Murderous people who actually killed nobody.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what to me is so crazy. It's like, okay, you always hear about them killing, but no one there was killed until the next day.
That's right.
Ashley Babbitt.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Only Trump supporters died, including Officer Sicknick.
Wild.
Yep.
Yeah, there's something else I wanted to talk to you about, but I'll call back again next week. I've been finally catching up on all my things, so I got some free time again.
That sounds good, man. Appreciate it. Catch you later. All right.
All right.
Bye. And Robert in Kansas on the line over here. What's up, Robert?
Hey, man, what's up, dude?
Not much.
You hear me?
I can. Right. You sound great.
Hey, but I was a freshman, in college, right? This is a long time ago. And a friend of mine who...
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
sorry.
well, he actually moved out to California and everything, so he's out there with y'all now, same area. But he told me about Bitcoin. The last caller, he said, and when he told me about it, it's 2008.
Oh, wow.
And he told me, he said, hey, dude, check this out. the price was $3.
Whoa! I remember somebody bought pizza with Bitcoin famously.
I could have really been somebody, Hake. I mean, I don't know. But anyway,
you are somebody.
Okay, well,
or else we are nobody. You and I are we're all nobody.
You see what I'm
we're
saying?
not black.
$3, man, and I had money too.
That's
it was
funny.
$3. Anyway, never mind.
Yeah.
So Trump is doing the tariffs, and we've had some years of conversation where you're a capitalist, right, and I'm a socialist.
That's right. You're a nationalist socialist.
Well, you don't gotta get so specific.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, but do you see how beautiful Trump is in his tariff? Because I was trying to get him to do tariffs like 2017.
Whoa.
I was trying to get him to do.
Yeah.
And he's doing it now. And do you see how that is? You see how that's socialism, right? Hey, that's a socialistic thing. That Trump is being a socialist.
Maybe were the founders socialists because tariffs are in the Constitution?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I accept then. Socialism for Christ.
Well, capitalism is the rule of money, right? So, I mean, if you were to just adhere to mammon, and you say, how much mammon can we get? Well, we can use slave labor in other countries and have cheaper products, right? We can use other people and hurt them at the same time hurting our own people so that we can make more money, right? If you're a corporation, if you're a capitalist.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or
a commie, unchristian capitalist. That is.
Or you could intervene as a government, shut down capitalism, and say, no, we're going to drive jobs, high-paying jobs, back into our country, so that the people here can feed their families and take care of themselves, right?
Maybe.
So it's for the people. It's not for the money.
I won't fight you on this. It's an interesting point.
That's socialism.
Kids, we don't necessarily believe everything that you hear from Hake or anybody. Because capitalism is a tool used by communists and free people and Christians. People do it with a conscience. Capitalism with a conscience. It's kind of like
capitalism. Capitalism, I would say, is rule of money or rule of mammon.
But
right? If you want to serve mammon, then you can, and you will be successful in the worldly things you are. Right? You can make lots of money.
But don't you notice how the liberal, lame-o socialists the commies, the commies in our country, they worship money worse than the poor people worship money worse than the rich.
Well, let's get down to a basic definition real quick, Hake, before you have to go.
Okay.
I would say that, capitalism is about money. Communism, because we need to define this, is about what? It's about government. Okay. Socialism is about the Workers' Party, the National Socialist Workers' Party, about the people who work, the human beings that, me and you, the people that we see on the street when we walk around. It was about getting money down to them and stopping the capitalists from just taking it all. And so there, you talked about unions, you talk about this stuff, but what Trump is doing with tariffs is that exact thing. We have an international system, and he's bringing back American jobs so that when you go down the street, your neighbor might have just got a job where they make more money, and then they can take care of their household and your neighborhood, and now you're safer. It's socialism.
All right, man. I got to wrap it up.
Thank God for Trump.
I agree.
Let's tariff them. Tariff them up. All right.
Thanks man. Bye. Guys, this has been the Hake Report. It is Fob Friday. Catch the Fallen State next. This might be a little loud. Andy Lau, track 12. You hear the birds? the water. I'll have to get to the rest of your super chats. Popcorn. Next week, hopefully.
山边有一朵白云，白云的深处流着一条小溪，小溪的里面住着一只金鱼，金鱼的每天就是游来游去。小溪的隔壁有一座庙宇，庙宇的大堂摆着一个神迹，神迹的上面住着一只木鱼，木鱼的每天都是敲来敲去。日升又日落，好时光匆匆过，你敲来敲去敲什么？
Wooden fish
外面的世界水也甜花也红
and
人
goldfish.
生得意要把握。潮起又潮落，风舞劲浪汹涌，游来游去有什么？明天的幸福总要靠今天修，风花雪月要看透才解脱。
And it might not even be some lame song about some girl. Wooden fish and goldfish? Andy Lau, people. Mr. China himself.
金鱼和木鱼有太多不同，永远弄不清别人过的生活。当一天和尚就要敲一天钟，所以他们就继续自己的梦。日升又日落，好时光匆匆过，你敲来敲去敲什么？外面的世界水也甜花也红，人生得意要把握。潮起又潮落，风舞劲浪汹涌，你游来游去有什么？明天的幸福总要靠今天修，风花雪月要看透才解脱。日升又日落，好时光匆匆
Everybody now.
你敲来敲去敲什么？外面的世界水也甜花也红，人生得意要把握。潮起又潮落，风舞劲浪汹涌，你游来游去有什么？明天的幸福总要靠今天修，风花雪月要看透才解脱。
Adios, America. Your super chats next week. Take care.